You're the best I ever had. I hear the sounds of your heartbeat. I can hear it now. I can hear it now. And I just wanna feel alive in the starlight. See in your eyes, your eyes. I need to be with you. Be with you. Be with you. I need to be with you.
my tears. So long I've been trying to fight the world. Damn wrong, everything I thought I knew. Hold on, tired of living with my fear. Let go, tired of holding back my tears.